Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for allowing all of us to get here safely. I just ask that you watch over everybody and watch over our community and bring the rain. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I'd like to establish that we have a quorum and call our meeting to order. We'll start by having the pledges.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now the Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag.
I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Everybody can be seated. Thank all of you for joining us tonight. Right now would be the time for public comment. Is there anybody that has any comment before we continue?
I just had one brief one, and I fell down on the job. I should have printed enough copies of this for everybody to have. This is the front page of the city budget. And down at the bottom, it has a statement that says this budget will raise more total property taxes than last year's budget by $26,448, or 0.0299%. Of that amount, $7,900 is tax revenue to be raised from new property, and whereas $1,800,540 is tax revenue to be raised from an increase in property valuations. I'd like to bring forward that that statement is untrue. The part that's untrue about it is the last part. What's funny is the city has that statement on the front of their budget. The what is that? In truth and taxation on the actually the appraisal district's website, they have another statement that says, two major components of your property tax calculation are exemptions and tax rates, which are both determined by your taxing units, school district, county, city, etc. These are not determined by the appraisal district or tax office. So it's like we've got two of them trying to deny where tax increases come from. And just so we all got on the same page, I think it's important that we're truthful with taxpayers as far as what actually causes their taxes to go up. Yeah, our taxes went up an additional $18,540.54, but that also could have been negated by the tax rate being set lower by that much. I mean, that's a minute amount, I know. It's not much when you scatter it out amongst everybody. But I think we need to be truthful that where our tax increases come from is from the rates that are set by the political subdivisions in a county, and not by the appraisal district. We know that the appraisal every year has gone up, and yes, that stings, but at the same time, our taxes don't have to go up because of that. There are no new revenue rates there. And I feel like we're being dishonest with people on the front of the city budget, saying that we couldn't help this, the appraisal went up, so it raised. And that's not true.
But our tax rate actually went down from what it was last year.
Tax rate doesn't matter from last year, because you're working with a whole new pile of money every year. It is a completely different pile of money.
But it does matter.
No, the tax rate doesn't matter until you get the new tax, the actual appraisal and what that totals up to. What pile of money you have to work with from the appraisal district.
But the appraisal district is half of the equation and we're the other half.
The appraisal district has nothing to do with it, really.
So,
My taxes, if everybody's taxes went up 200%, not taxes, if everybody's appraisal
the value.
went up 200%, every taxing entity could lower the tax rate to the new revenue rate, and we wouldn't see minimal new taxes.
Okay? We could probably make that happen, but we also have to consider, do you know of any business that doesn't have an increase in prices of doing business every year?
And it costs them more, so they're more out of their pocket. And
And we only have one way. We're not a manufacturer, we don't market a product, we don't have anything to sell. We sell our water and sewer rates, basically. That's it. So, yes, we're actually collecting a little bit more money this year, but
it's not a lot, I understand.
But we also try to give our employees a raise every year. And that's one of the things that offsets that little bit more that we're getting. Plus, we also have insurance that goes up every year.
All I'm bringing out is that it is not true that because the appraisal went up, our taxes went up by $18,540.
So, I mean, I don't think you're complaining. You're saying we have a small amount that we're actually going to collect more money. But what I'd like to comment back to, we had this discussion in our public hearing the other night in regards to our tax rate. It was just us here. We had this discussion. I want to comment on this, but so for me, as a conservative, I'm more small government. I don't want the government controlling everything that we do. And so the problem that we have in the state of Texas currently, that they're actually hiding behind, and most people can't see it, is they're coming in and they're forcing the appraisal districts to increase the value. The issue that I have with that is it's pretty hard to vote out our state legislatures, especially when they've been there as long as they have. Let us control how much money we are in taxes every year. Leave the values where they're at. There's no reason to adjust the values at the appraisal district because it doesn't correlate to what you can sell that property for, what you should tax it for. There's no correlation there. Leave the values alone and let us adjust the rates appropriately. And I think if we could, we would probably see a more conservative approach from our end on where we need to set the rates at, because we know we have the control. And the best thing about that is if you don't like the way that we're doing it, if it was set up that way, you or any constituent doesn't like the way that we're doing it, and they think we're raising taxes all the time, we could be voted out pretty easily. Where I think at the state level, but for some reason our governor wants to be big government, have his hands in all the local control, and the problem that they do is everything they push out is to fit more of the larger counties in Texas, and it does not fit small town Texas. And so, like, I think if they would just back up and back off of it a little bit, and the reason that the appraisal district keeps having to do it is because they're withholding school funding. So they're basically dangling school funding over the appraisal district, saying, if you don't do this, then we're withholding that school funding from your school system. It's why? Why do they want to be like that, especially with the surplus of money that they have? And if they're the conservatives that we vote for, they definitely don't have the same values I do. You know, because they're all about control. And I just don't think big government control is good. I mean, I go back to the COVID years, and thankfully we lived where we lived, and we didn't have big government trying to control us. Now, I absolutely see what you're saying. I agree with you. I just have a different perspective.
I just feel like this is a bad place to have that statement, saying it's not our fault the appraisal's went up.
Sure.
Because people don't understand how property taxes are calculated and how they come down to that number that they have to pay.
Absolutely.
They feel like, okay, well, shoot, the state's making me pay it. No, the state really doesn't have anything to do with property taxes. They do have to do, I mean, for one thing, the state really has lowered our property taxes as far as schools. And still being paid by tax money, which I ran into that earlier today, that they don't believe that it's still being paid by tax money.
It's all got to come
It's
from
still
somewhere.
sales tax. It's coming from, and you know, I feel like local government is probably the place where we can look harder and find more places and also be more honest with citizens as far as where the property taxes come from and what we're doing with those property taxes. And Gary, I know what you're saying as far as, yeah, there's a lot of things that we're committed to provide, but at the same time, is government too large? I mean, that's something in my mind that always comes up, is government too large? That's along the lines of what you brought up.
Government's always been too large.
Yeah, it always is.
But
I think that starts here.
And I believe that right here is the purest form of government you're going to find.
You know, one of the silliest things since I've been on the council was an unfunded mandate from the state that forced us to change out all of our poles for stop signs, yield signs, any type of street sign. And I think the cost study we did on it at the time was going to cost us between $180,000 to $200,000 unfunded mandate, just so that signs would break away if you hit them. Right? Like, well, just don't hit the sign. You know, so they force this stuff down us. It's all about them having control over what we do, how we spend our money. I think if they would back out of it, I think we're all very conservative here. You know, we talk about that a lot. We don't want to raise taxes. That's why I think you probably see more often your fees have gone up. But, you know, in that sense, the state's probably done us a favor because we can say we had to raise taxes, right? Well, they forced the values up. If they wouldn't have forced the values up, at some point, we would have to raise taxes to operate. We would have to raise the tax rate, you know. But I would like it to be our decision on when that rate goes up and when we feel comfortable moving it up. If we don't have to, don't do it.
Well, you know, that and like I said, this just being not correct. And the fact that Well, let's quit comparing this year's tax rate to last year's. Let's compare it to what the tax levy is.
Sure.
The tax levy is what is important, not the tax rate, because the tax rate comes off of whatever the appraisal, the county-wide appraisal is. But this just caught my eye that it's like we're all the taxing in it, and the appraisal district is not a taxing entity, but they are also saying, hey, this doesn't have anything to do with your property taxes because these entities set the rate. And you're saying, oh no, the appraisal district made us raise taxes. So it's just
Sure.
kind of like, hey, we don't want the blame for it.
Yeah,
So it just caught my eye, that's all.
absolutely. No, I hear you. Is it tonight that I gotta read the specific wording for the tax rate? Is that tonight? Or have they done away with that?
So,
Because I think that's a little misleading in itself too. The state forces us to read wording in this specific wording. To me, it's misleading. I'm like, I don't even think this is accurate. It's
so,
just like,
so just to cover a little bit, Mr. Lewis, a statement on this budget is required by the state.
and
We
that's
have to
another-
put the statement in front of our budget, okay? We do hire the appraisal district. Every tax entity has hired the appraisal district to not only collect for us, but they also help us in determining the rates, okay? The tax levy, as you said, went up, okay? Property valuations for the city were up 17%. The difference in what you see on this budget is from the non-new revenue to the voter approval rate, which is 2.5%. Okay, it is the max that the city could raise taxes. That's what it is. You said something about the last year's taxes has nothing to do with this year's. The difference between last year and this year, that's where the rates are set. The tax base went up from 186 million to 197 million for the city, not the county. That's what it went up on the city. Yes, our tax rate did go down, okay, from 0.6932 to 0.6730. Our tax rate is less. We are collecting more taxes because the tax base went up.
Yeah, there's the 17% increase in
So,
value.
so if we
is a
take
lot.
the rate, if we take the rate from last year's, there will be a lot more increase than what we're actually doing because the base has gone up. Okay? Council approved the rate. Okay, that is what you did. We did have the public hearing to hear the comments from the public.
sure.
We had nobody come up, if you remember that. You also set the date to approve the budget tonight. Okay, the rate that has been approved by y'all is 0.673093. That is for the 2025-2026 fiscal year. Yeah.
So,
I would like for any citizen that would like to come in and talk to us about their taxes, my door's open. I would try to explain to you what we do. I'm not gonna say what the county does, the school, or anybody else. But I'd be more than glad to sit down with any citizen of Muleshoe and talk about truth of taxation and what the state requires us to do. The statement in front of our budget that is required, that is something, the wording that's in here, I'm required to put that wording. I'm not gonna sit here and blame the appraisal district. They got a job to do. They are hired by all the Texas entities. They are. You made a comment, Mayor. Yes, the state sets a cap on how much they can go up on taxes. They are the one that go up on the taxes. They are. Okay? We hired them to do that.
so there was one other time, Kirk, that, one of the only times that we've actually raised the tax rate since I've sat on this council, which has been since 2012, so 13 years. One of the only times we raised the tax rate, there was some pretty severe disasters that went around along the state that year, wildfires and different things, and the state was talking about capping us. I think it's when they capped us at we could only go up 3%.
It's 3.5.
3.5. Well, our concern was if we don't go ahead and increase our rate a little bit, and we have something major happen, we wouldn't be able to increase it enough. So at that point, what the state did was force us to go ahead and be prepared. So we raised rates that year. And it's like, if the state will just get out of our business and quit telling us we have to mislead people by stating this or by me stating this, if they'll just get out of our business and let us run our town, I think we could do a lot better. It'd be a lot better at what we do. But they force us, while I've been on the council, we haven't had any major issues that I thought was going to be very costly until this last year when we had the sewer line collapse out here on Highway 84. At first, what we spent a week and a half trying to fix it. When we couldn't get that done, we were having to look at maybe the textile wasn't going to let us go down there and repair. We were going to have to bore. And so we were looking at what, 800,000 or something like that?
Anywhere from $1 million to $2 million.
To bore it. Well, we don't have that kind of, we have some money put back, but that's a significant amount for us to come up with, so then what are we going to do? Fortunately, the road started buckling and TxDOT let us go down there, and it still cost us somewhere around $200,000. It wasn't budgeted, and so I'm with you. I wish, take the misleading statements off, get out of our business and let us take care of the things that we need to take care of, and that's my opinion. And so, but I always appreciate you being here. We don't get a whole lot of attendance at our meetings, and anytime we do, I always like that we have people here.
Yeah, and that, like I said, just an educated taxpayer base is something that I think this takes away from it.
For sure.
Is all I'm saying.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
We would love for citizens to get educated, to come talk to us. We would love for that. We want to be as transparent as we can. We are transparent. That is my number
Y'all
one
do a
goal.
good job of that.
That's my number one goal. So, anybody would like to come down and talk to us, we'd be more than glad to, at any time.
And since I've started this, this is the 18th time that I've done a budget. And that's probably too long, but that's just the way it is. And to this day, in 18 years, not one time that I can remember, correct me if I'm wrong, but not one time have we ever had anybody come to a public hearing for the tax rate. I don't remember one. So we do the best we can.
We're doing what we're supposed to. We're following the law. When we have a public hearing, we would like the public to come and voice their opinion.
For sure. Or even be at this meeting. I think it's great. I like when people are here and we can converse back and forth, and, as long as it's not out of hand, I don't like to limit the conversation either, because that's how I think that we get places. So, all right, we're going to move to the first item on the agenda to approve the minutes of the meeting held August 11th, 2025.
Motion to approve those minutes.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Our next item is to approve the minutes from the August 28th, 2025 public hearing meeting.
Make a motion, we approve those minutes.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Our next item is to consider the ordinance removing the real property from the extraterritorial jurisdiction, which we spoke about this last meeting, and
This is the second reading of that ordinance. And
Did
as
anybody-
previously stated, it reduces ETJ on that particular side from 0.5 mile to 500 feet.
Does anybody have any questions in regards to that? I'll make a motion that we pass that ordinance.
I'll second.
We have a motion, a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Our next item is to consider Resolution R-824-0925 ratifying the increased property tax revenue.
Mayor, that's what this resolution does, and it's required by state law. It confirms the increase of the property tax revenues. The total increase for this year is $29,576.79 for the 2025-2026 budget. So we are confirming that we are increasing this amount.
Is that a new item that they've,
It happened, Senate Bill 2, the same time that it changed all the wording. and
so
all
this
that.
is the first year we've done it?
No, sir.
Oh, I just didn't remember it last year.
No,
maybe.
it's been done for 2-3 years.
I'll make a motion that we pass that resolution.
I'll second.
Motion a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Our next item is to consider ordinance 0-553-0925. That's adopting the 25-26 budget.
Just like it states, this ordinance adopts the budget for the 2026 year. Copy of that proposed budget, it's on our website. It will, up to tonight, was proposed as a moving forward. That will be the budget for the 2025-2026 year.
I'll make a motion, we pass that ordinance.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Our next item is to consider ordinance O-552-0925, setting the 26 tax rate.
So this will have to be a two-part. We will set the tax rate for M&O at 0.563692, and then interest and sinking 0.109401 for a total of 0.673093. That will be the tax rate for 2026 fiscal year. So I'll need a motion for M&O and then a motion for INS.
And does that have to be a show of hands?
Yes, sir. A record vote, please.
Okay. I'll make a motion that we set the tax rate for maintenance and operation at .563692.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed? I'll make a motion that we set the interest and sinking tax rate at .109401.
Second it.
I have a second. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed? Both motions pass. Total of the tax rate at .673093. Our next item, number 6, is considered ordinance O-554-0925, amending the fee schedule.
Mayor, with this ordinance amends the fee schedule for fees and rates charged by the city. The changes to the fee schedule are adding section 81003, vector control. What this section does, it establishes $1.50 charge to the monthly utility bill on all accounts handled by the city utility billing department. These funds are collected will be used to defray the cost of mosquito spraying. This year was a pretty wet year, so we sprayed quite a bit more. So it's something we kind of decided we'll not only increase chemicals and all that, but it's something that we need to offset some costs. And that's what that section does. Also, it amends Article 87.000 garbage collection fees, Section 87.001 residential and commercial pickups. Fees will increase for $2 a month to reflect the following. $32 a month for single-family residents and multifamily. What that does to commercial accounts, it will increase $2, kind of depending on what service you're getting, which two or three times picked up a week. So across the board, it'd be a $2 increase a month. It also amends Article 8.000, the water and sewer fees, in particular, Section 8.004, sewer utility fees. The fees will increase at $2 a month for residential and $5 a month for commercial, will reflect the following. Residential will be $20 a month and commercial will be $23 a month. And also the changes to the fee schedule.
Does anybody have any questions?
I'll make a motion, we pass that ordinance.
A second.
So a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Our next item is to consider the request of the holiday treasurers for the Hotel Motel Tax Funds for the promotion of the 25 Holiday Treasure event.
Mayor Lorena De Leon is requesting up to $1,000 of hotel motel funds for the advertising and promotion of the holiday treasure event. Vendors from out of town stay in local motels for this event. I think this event will be held on November the 1st. It is up to $1,000 that staff will verify receipts. Last year they requested $900, and I believe that they did turn in $900 worth of receipts. They did go up $100 from $900 to $1,000. It is something that, we've been doing for years, so.
I'll make a motion that we approve that request.
I'll second it.
Motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Our next item is to receive the financial statement for the month ending August the 31st of 2025.
Make a motion, we receive the financial statement.
I'll second it.
Motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item 9, administrative reports.
Mayor, the SPAG Annual General Assembly meeting will be held Wednesday, September 17th at the Science Spectrum Museum in Lubbock. If any of you wish to attend, please let Tamara know. Also, the TML Annual Conference will be in Fort Worth, October 28th to the 31st. The Muleshoe Water Park has closed for the season. The Seal Coat program is scheduled for September 23rd. We ask citizens that please work with our Public Works Department. Please don't park in the street. More than likely, if your tree overhangs the street, we'll have contacted you already, or we'll contact you. Try to keep those. We don't want to cause damage to the trees itself, but it also helps the contractor and Public Works to do a good job. So, and that's all I have.
Does the council have any remarks?
No, sir.
With that, I think we're adjourned.